Welcome back to Doom Eternal. We'll be finishing Necrovol Part 1 in this video, thankfully. It's one of those awkward, it was like 33 minutes to record. Well, I don't want to do a 33-minute part, so here you go.
Yeah.
That's always the worst. Like, at least with a 40-minute part, or like a 40-minute gameplay segment or whatever, at 20 minutes isn't too bad for a video part. But if it's like 33, it's like, I can't do, like, today's YouTube economy, you can't really do 15-minute parts anymore.
You gotta make sure that average audience retention is over 10 minutes, so every part must be over 1 hour.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, one of the...
YouTube algorithm hacked. Sorry.
So one of the things that I thought was really funny was I saw this meme picture about Goro from Persona 5, and it's him doing one of those YouTube apology videos.
Oh, Goro Akechi. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
something
the thing is, it's an hour long, and there's also the yellow lines for ad breaks every 5 minutes on the bar, which I just thought was hilarious.
It's funny because it's totally not something he would do, but it's funny to think of him doing it.
He would do it if he had gotten caught doing something he wasn't supposed to.
Nah, Akechi's got way too much pride for that.
Like, no, I don't think he would believe it. I just think that
I'm saying he's got way too much pride to do that kind of apology. But then, basically,
He would think he was in the right to begin with.
Akechi is too prideful for bullshit is basically half the plot of the third semester in Persona 5 Gold and Persona 5 Royal. So, Although that
Figure since there was BFG ammo, I would use the Unmaker on the art file just because.
Yep.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job on making that arch file.
It's my speciality.
Although thinking about it, that meme might have been written before Persona 5 Royal. So in other words, back when Akechi had almost no character.
But the fangirls love him anyway.
Well, because the boy who does bad things but can be redeemed theoretically is a tried and true anime trope. That's why I'm gonna talk about how much I love Dragon Quest XI here. And slight spoiler,
Dang.
but not a
God
big
damn it.
not a big one. One thing that I love about this game is that game also has its anime boy who did things bad, but maybe you can understand where he's coming from. In 11S, where they added more to the game, what they basically did was they said, no, he doesn't really deserve to be forgiven, but he does deserve to find peace with himself, which I thought was really a good way to put it.
Well,
So,
I don't
yeah.
like I don't like it when stories treat redemption and self-awareness as the same thing.
And they do, because he realizes that what he was doing was wrong, and he realizes that what he did is unforgivable, but he finds peace with himself because he realizes that that he was it sounds so much more cheesy when you're talking about it in abstract as opposed to seeing it, but
Yeah.
he realized that people actually did care about him the whole time, which gives him some measure of peace, which I found was a good way to
Yeah,
to
well,
put
you know,
it.
it's like Darth Vader in Star Wars. Yeah, sure, he sort of redeemed himself narratively in the end, but he didn't, like, undo any of the stuff he did. So
Yeah, and they go into that in some of the old extended universe stuff, if I remember. Like,
oh yeah,
Leia's
Whoa.
Socially wise, Vader is still like a bad term. To say.
Yeah.
It's like you don't bring him up.
eventually,
Yeah.
like for political reasons, someone outs Leia as Darth Vader's daughter at some point in the old expanded universe, and that really hurts her reputation.
There's some quote by her to the tune of "One good act at death doesn't undo a lifetime of bad acts," or something like that. So,
But
she doesn't really ever forgive him, from what I remember.
Oh yeah, Leia never really develops the same kind of feeling for Darth Vader that Luke does.
I thought that was a Homestar Runner reference for a second.
What was a Homestar Runner reference?
You said bad axe, but I thought you said bed axe. Like axe is in the weapon.
Okay.
It's like, hey, Strong Bad, what is this game? I've never played Bed Axe before.
I've never played bad.
I guess the reason this is a sticking point for me though is that whenever someone tries to do a story about a bad person who, you know, learns to understand that what they were doing was bad and changes their ways, you always get these people in the audience who are like, no, they can't redeem themselves. You know what? It's a heck lot better than just carrying on like they were before. Okay.
Yeah, no, and that's why redemption arcs are really hard to do. I still to this day, one of the things that bothers me about Dragon Ball Z is that they just act like all the terrible shit that Vegeta didn't happen.
Well,
when he shows no remorse at any point during the story, and B,
well, that's most of what the Boo stuff is about.
Yeah, that's
Boo.
true, but it's just like he never shows any remorse for anything that he did, and he doesn't ever really change his mind about stuff. He just is slightly less angry all the time, as if that's the same thing.
Well, to be fair, a lot of that makes a lot more sense when you're not accounting for the anime filler episode where he blows up a fucking planet. But
yeah, but I mean, he still did do that.
Well, he only did it in the anime, but
it's also a matter of you have to take into account that everyone's kind of disturbed about him being there to begin with, until you get to basically after Cell, and everyone has like years to kind of get used to him.
I mean, Bulma
and
it's totally okay sleeping with him after like a month.
To be fair, when you discount the anime filler, what is Vegeta's real crime exactly?
Mostly killing the Mechians.
Well, he's directly responsible for killing Chaozu and Tien and
Nappa.
Yamcha.
They got better.
Nappa too. That doesn't make anybody get less murdered.
The point
You're
is,
just as murdered if you come back.
I was saying Nappa was
the
the
point
one who
I
killed
was
them,
trying to get at.
He was his boss.
The point I was
Still,
trying
that's
to get
still
at is that he was basically an oppressed soldier underneath an evil space dictator of almost unlimited power, or at least
but he very clearly was enjoying it. So I don't buy that at that point.
Yeah, but that's a sin that basically everyone in the Z Fighters team was guilty of at some point. So it makes sense that they would forgive him for that.
Yeah, I would say Piccolo and Tien have no room to talk in that regard.
Well, Tien didn't murder anybody.
He was training to be a murderer, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't actually murder anybody. There's a difference. There's a line between murdering someone and not.
You can still get arrested for intent to murder.
Yeah. But
well, no, you can get arrested for attempted murder. I don't know if you can get arrested for intent to murder.
Minority
if you
Report.
Haven't done anything yet.
I mean, I could also get arrested for walking across the street wrong. So I guess that's a low bar.
that's fair. Yes.
Wow, does anyone actually pay attention to jaywalking rules in America?
It's not. I think he's not just referring to jaywalking, but yeah.
Oh, I was.
Oh, okay.
But
that's the literal. That's the literal.
I'm,
that's the literal term for walking across the street wrong.
I'm
oh no, I was more talking about like, I walked
deep.
across the street and never mind. I'm not gonna go into that.
Okay.
I didn't mean to be accidentally deep, but I'll take it.
It's okay. I never mean to be on purposely deep, and I don't ever manage to land accidentally. So you know what? You take what you can get. Is my view of it.
I'll take what I can get. I found $1 on the floor at Walmart.
Okay, up close, that mechanical spider legs demon looked pretty grotesque.
Yeah, he's interesting. He was supposed to be way more grotesque, like this Frankenstein monster of like a bunch of different demons sewn together.
Ew.
Oh, gross.
That makes me think of that.
They,
That makes me think of that wheelchair abomination from Silent Hill Downpour.
ugh.
You ever played Silent Hill Downpour? You know what I'm talking about?
There's a wheelchair monster in Silent Hill.
No, but I can get an idea.
Well, it's not really a monster that you fight, Ted. It's a background thing that's part of the, symbolism.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's symbolic.
Silent Hill Downpour is pretty good conceptually. It's just not a very well put together game at all.
I don't think I've ever heard of Downpour. Is that like a spin-off or a subtitle for a main entry game?
It's a subtitle for a main entry game. It's the fifth.
Oh, okay.
It's the fifth one. Oh no, it's the sixth one. There was.
I didn't know there were that many.
Yeah, there's
Same.
There's two not.
Well, no, I did. I just forgot.
There's well, apart from Origins, there's two non-numbered main series entries. One of them is Homecoming, the hideously Americanized one that no one likes because both the gameplay and the story are kind of but oddly there are still a lot of people in the fanfiction community with a soft spot for the characters there.
Whoa.
And then there's Downpour, which was a modern take on the Silent Hill 2 concept, I suppose, starring a prisoner who was being transferred from one prison to another, and the bus that they were being transported in happened to crash in Silent Hill, so a lot of stuff goes down. But it was basically a glitchy, buggy, unfinished mess that was almost unplayable until it got patched.
How long did that take?
I don't know, a month or two.
Oh, okay.
At launch, I don't know. I wasn't aware of it at launch, so I'm going by.
I was thinking it was something like Daikatana, where it took fans to patch it.
Oh no.
Oh, Daikatana. Oh,
they officially patched it to make it somewhat playable, but it had to be an official patch. It's a PS3 game.
Wasn't Daikatana made by the guy who made Doom?
Oh yeah.
John Romero.
Oh boy, I could sit here for a while and talk about Daikatana.
I remember watching a video on it years ago, but I barely remember the details.
So to make it short, id Software worked on the first Quake, which was supposed to be like this big epic first-person RPG game that ended up just being Doom, but actually 3D.
Oh, so they did the same thing they did with Doom's concept.
Oh yeah, exactly. Which Doom itself was just Wolfenstein, but with better technology.
At that point, John Romero was kind of fed up being not being able to make the game he wanted.
Yeah, so John Romero wanted to make it this big epic game, but then the team decided to just go with Carmack's idea to make it a just technologically amazing for the time. John Romero barely even worked on Quake. He spent almost the entire development cycle of the game in chat rooms talking with fans and playing deathmatch with them.
Wow.
He quit id, or he got fired. It's never been officially stated which one. But he left, and he's like, I'm going to go make my own studio and make my own epic game that I've always wanted to make, and that ended up being Daikatana.
Huh.
And it's terrible, right?
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay.
Aside from it, the story is interesting. The story is kind of the best part of the game, but the game still sucks. It's a 3-player co-op game, and if you're playing solo, then the 2 other characters are AI controlled. And assuming that you're not playing the patched version, you need to have the characters or the other 2 players follow you all the way to the end of the level and survive, because they can die. But their pathfinding is basically broken.
That sounds like a game-breaking design choice on the level of Ultima 8's goddamn platforming. Which also had to be patched out.
And that's the end of the level, just randomly.
Oh.
Yeah, that is kind of anticlimactic. But
yeah, Daikatana does that.
God. Yeah, when did that game came out? The late 90s?
I want to say 98. I might be wrong.
Okay.
It's that general area, so.
Oddly enough, the same studio that put out Daikatana also put out the first Deus Ex, which had most of the same, development team.
Interesting. And the first Deus Ex was a frickin' amazing masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I wonder what it says about the creative head behind
Yes,
all
John
of that.
Romero.
Okay.
We'll see you all in the next part of Doom.